Let me show you the whole roster.
Let the battle begin. Kenny. Ken. Fei Long. Guile. DJ. P-Hawk. Kenny. Let the battle begin. P-Hawk. Fight.
Thanks for joining me on this installment of the Straight Edge Game Room, where today we're going to be looking at Electronic Talking Capcom Super Street Fighter 2 The New Challengers. That's the whole title. Can you imagine if the title of this game was a motivational mantra at a Tony Robbins seminar? Do you feel inadequate? Do you have inner struggles to overcome? Well, stand up in triumph and chant with me. Electronic Talking Capcom Super Street Fighter 2 The New Challengers. Now, be emboldened, seize the day, chant again. Electronic Talking Capcom. That's enough of that. I'm beating around the bush with the title, but there really isn't much to explain with the gameplay. You get your butt handed to you a couple of times until you figure out a certain button combination to mash repeatedly that helps you defeat your enemies. And after that, there really isn't much more to it.
I love how he sounds like an angry dairy bull.
Each character plays slightly different, but the strategy is essentially the same, and it's very minimal. Once you figure out a certain button combination to mash, you mash that repeatedly as it works for that particular character. For another character, the order of buttons might be a little bit different, but once you figure it out, you just keep mashing that until you beat the game the way that character's button mashing layout works. It's just trial and error. If you don't know a certain combination that works for one character, well, you'll just get your butt kicked. But if you keep at it, you'll eventually figure it out.
P-Hawk. Win. You are not a warrior. You are a beginner.
Don't listen to him. I am a warrior. I am the warrior of warriors. Stupid game.
Alright, let's take a look at the... Whoops. Let's take a look at the unit itself. First of all, I like to point out the artwork on Tiger Electronics. They always look nice. Of course, they look a lot nicer than the stuff that comes out on the screen. Fei Long has a scowl on his face to show his displeasure with being in a Tiger Electronic. Cammy's got a confused, surprised look on her face like she just opened an occupied stall, not knowing anyone was in there. Ken's like, what are you looking at? None of them look too happy to be in this game, except for DJ. So, one thing I hate about Tiger Electronics is the stupid D-pad. Look at the nubs that it has. It's not very fluid. It's not very comfortable, especially not for a fighting game. You want something more like this, where your thumb can just glide across it. But I'm asking too much of Tiger Electronics to have common sense. And then you got your kick and your punch button over here on the same bar. I really don't understand why. Your special move, you know, I don't understand how to do a special move. Usually I do a combination of things. Like I'll push a direction, like left, right, or down, and the special move button and punch or kick. So really, all I'm doing is just mashing buttons, hoping something will happen. I don't need to go over these except for this, because this is what changes your roster, or rather what side of roster you're gonna pick. See how it switches over to that side. It takes 4 AA batteries. Whoops, knocked the camera. It takes 4 AA batteries to power the thing. And I think the other 2 batteries are so the darn thing can talk. What's up with the title? Usually Tiger Electronics are electronic and then the title of the game, but is this Talking Capcom Super Street Fighter 2 The New Challenger electronic, or is it Electronic Talking Capcom Super Street Fighter 2 The New Challengers? That's a long title. But at this point, I'm just over-analyzing something that hardly anybody cares about. One thing you gotta give Tiger Electronics credit for is, though they didn't always have direction, they were passionate. And they try to squeeze as much of the arcade experience into these little LCD handhelds as they possibly could. But you're really hard pressing this kind of technology for that kind of feat. But boy, did they try. They try to add background music for this game, but it seems to be in competition with the sound effects and the voiceovers because it's always getting interrupted by that. The audio kind of reminds me of an old Leapfrog toy where the music and the sound effects don't work together. What happens is the music will be playing and then the music will stop for the voiceover or sound effect and then the music will continue. And that's testament to Tiger Electronics' great passion but poor execution.
Hey, Long Win! You are the greatest Street Fighter in the world.
Yes!
Electronic Talking Capcom Super Street Fighter, you know the title, is not a great game, but it's very amusing, and I'm glad to have it on the show. But it's not something I'm going to recommend to casual gamers. We'll reserve this one for collectors and people who get a kick out of novelty items. Well, that about does it for the ridiculous item of today. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button, subscribe. It'll help me if you guys like and subscribe. And stay tuned for future episodes. More weird stuff is on the way. Thanks for watching. Take care. Now, who would win in a street fight? Talking Electronic Capcom Super Street Fighter 2 The New Challengers, or Electronic Disney's The Little Mermaid? They don't even fit in the same frame shot, I tell you what.